All right. Good morning. It is what is this? Wednesday, February 4th, 2026. I am SirFelixTheCat, and this is Talk Better Politics Morning Talk. In a better mood today, which is wonderful. Yesterday kind of had me very upset for most of the day, just thinking about the news. But I mean, not everything today is sunshine and rainbows, but yeah, let's get into some of this. All right, so first up, a story from Axios. House Democrats help Mike Johnson end government shutdown. And yeah, this is the story that inspired the thumbnail, saying that the bloodshed caused by these federally funded terrorists is on their hands for both Republicans and Democrats. Now, the Senate tried to pass a funding thing, which basically let them get the ability to reform ICE. Or, well, let's read this. Why it matters. The vote created harsh division among Democrats, some of whom argued that the party should use the partial shutdown as leverage to force drastic reforms of ICE and Custom and Border Patrol, or Border Protection. And yes, this is the kind of thing we need. Like 100%. It needs to be preferably abolished. But if you're going to reform it, it needs to be a drastic reform. One, their funding needs to be absolutely slashed to a small percentage of what it is now. Why do we need ICE to have the funding of other countries' militaries, larger than other countries' militaries? We don't. The threat they are saying exists does not exist. If it did, we would hear non-stop reports on the news, daily, hourly, about all these terrible crimes that are being committed by illegal immigrants. Most of the time when I watch the news, it's some Republican who grabbed a gun and decided, screw it, today I'm going to go shoot up this school. So if you want to use that same logic, why isn't ICE going after every Republican then? If you want to use that logic, they can't explain that. They won't explain that because they are the party of evil. And first of all, I don't think Republicans should call themselves the GOP, the government of the people. No, you are not of the people. You are not for the people. You do not represent the people. If you did, excuse me. Sorry. If you did represent the people, Trump wouldn't be in office. Hegseth wouldn't be in the Pentagon. Mike Johnson would not be in the government whatsoever. I mean, J.D. Vance before Trump? Possibly. He was still a scumbag, but better than he is now. Now, they, where is it? The House voted 217 to 214. And this is after what I talked about yesterday, how Trump reached out to a couple Republicans who were on the fence about it, and basically convinced them to go ahead and be like, yeah, let's vote for this. Let's get Trump to continue having his terrorist goon squad kill civilians. Because again, that is all ICE is really doing. They are terrorizing people. They're not going after criminals. That's been a bullshit lie they've had since day one. They are going after anybody of color and trying to terrorize states so they can convince them like, hey, we'll stop terrorizing your people. We'll stop terrorizing U.S. citizens and civilians in this country if you just give us your voter rolls and let us rig the next election. I mean, why not? Because again, that's all this is about. It is about how to rig the next election. If we kill enough of you, if we arrest enough of you for, interfering with our legal proceedings, then you can't vote. I mean, they've gone, do I even have it? Oh, I do. I'll have it towards the end, but just pure fascism. Just pure fascism. All right. So Next up, we have a story from NBC News. Senate GOP leader John Thune says he disagrees with Trump that Congress should nationalize elections. Which, yeah, we should not nationalize elections. Trump's way of saying that is, hey, we can't win fair and square again. So how can we cheat? Oh, let's have Republicans run all of the elections. Let's have everything ran by the federal government, by this administration, to keep the voting fair. Because, Trump's one person who's always been fair. He's never done anything illegal, anything shady. He's never screwed over everybody in this country just for his own selfish goals. No, never. Why would he do that? I mean, look at the way he humps flags when he's on stage with them. Obviously, he loves this country. The country that he probably wants to rename Trumpland, Trumptopia. But yeah, Trump said Monday Republicans ought to nationalize the voting. That was on Don Bongino's podcast, which this dude left the government because the things he saw scared him to death. And one thing he was working on, we were first assigned to, was the Epstein stuff. And that scared him. And we all know Trump's name, I saw this on Reddit, which is funny. Trump's name is mentioned more in the Epstein files than Lord, Jesus, and God are combined in the Bible. Just think about that. It's a book about the Lord, Jesus, and God. And his name is mentioned more in the Epstein files than in that book. Absolutely outrageous. But yeah, Thune says our current system of states running election has worked pretty well. And he makes a good point when he says he's not in favor of it. It's harder to hack 50 election systems than it is to hack one. Yes, absolutely. You have systems that are ran differently in each state. That helps keep it safe. To have it all under one, are you going to tell me our country, our government, has never been hacked before? Because they have. I mean, there's big, ginormous tech companies. Their whole, business program is tech. We're talking about like Google, Microsoft. They have hackers of their own. They've all been hacked. And the incompetency we have in the government overall, I'm not just saying this administration, but basically every administration. Yeah, I don't trust that. Dude, I wouldn't trust anybody in our government watching my kids. Why would I ever trust them with the elections? I mean, it's hard enough to trust our state officials with it. As you see what happened with the 2020 election after Trump decided to start lying and be like, no, I actually won. I didn't know I lost. Bro, you were told by everybody you lost. But then we started having states like, let's bring in these Republicans to come look at our machines. No, dude. No. We need a lot of reform, and I'll get into that towards the end as well, as long as I remember. I know I say I'll get back to something and I forget, but I'm going to try to remember this one. But Thune did then say he wants to talk about whatchamacallit, words that are just blanking my mind. He does want to have IDs for it. And I am going to share a video on this one so you can just hear it from him. This is after being asked about Trump saying nationalize it and everything. But here we go.
President Trump has repeatedly urged the passing of the SAVE Act, as well as many MAGA Republicans. What is the holdup in the Senate? Why hasn't that been brought to the floor for a vote? And what's your stance on requiring improvements of citizenship to vote in elections?
Well, I'm for that. I've co-sponsored the SAVE Act in the past. I think my understanding is that they are still modifying the bill. It includes right now a requirement that you be a citizen to register to vote, but it doesn't include a requirement that to vote you be a resident. So in other words, if you're going to have what we call voter ID or photo ID when somebody goes into the ballot box to vote, That's not currently covered in the bill. So that's being fixed and addressed. And I think the new bill that comes out hopefully will deal with that. But I mean, at some point we'll have that vote. I'm for it. I think most of our colleagues in the Senate are. And I don't, it hasn't had consideration in the relevant committee yet. But I know there's a high level of interest among our members in getting a vote on SAVE Act.
Okay, so yeah, and I'm sorry, I didn't see who that was from. That's a video from Newsweek, which was supposed to be for a different article, but for some reason that came up. I'll get into the other one here in just a second. I'm not going to go too deep into it, just mention what it was about. But goodness. Where do I stand on IDs for it? I really don't care. He was correct. Yes, you do have to be a citizen to register to vote. And no, you don't need to show you're a citizen to vote. Because you can't vote unless you're registered. Why is that? Because if you did it once, why would you need to prove it twice? Yeah, I mean, someone could walk up who's not registered to vote, use my name, I guess, somehow, and vote. But I mean, I keep my voter registration card on me when I go to vote. If I go to vote in person, I voted by mail more often than not because of health issues. So I don't know. And that's one thing they also want to get rid of. They want to get rid of, where was it? They want to get rid of no excuse mail-in voting. Prohibit no excuse mail-in voting, which would fall under me, because the only time you should have an excuse to do mail-in voting is one, if you're too old, or, I mean, yeah, registered disabled, which I am through the state, not through the federal government. So that has been like my biggest kicker, is I'm not disabled through the federal government, just the state acknowledges the fact that I'm disabled. And that I have a history of Guillain-Barré. I'm not like in a wheelchair or nothing, even though you always see me sitting down. But yeah, it's disgusting. Plus, the people who have destroyed mail-in voting the most, let's remember, that's Republicans. And the reason they want to end this whole like no excuse mail-in voting is because when those mail-in votes come in, they lose. And it's so much easier to disenfranchise voters by what we saw in this last election is, let's just have town officials, city officials block off every goddamn street leading to these polling places where people who aren't just pure white Trump voters are going to go vote, because then they can't get there. Let's make it difficult for them. That way they're just eventually going to be like, well, I give up then. I guess I can't vote. We need to have 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats agree on a method. And I mean like Democrats like maybe AOC and hell, even Gavin Newsom, because he's better on voting. He has a lot of bad takes, but he's decent with voting. He wants everybody to vote. And then have maybe Thune and it can't be a MAGA sycophant. It can't be like someone like Mike Johnson or what's that dumb guy who ran the hearings. I can't remember his name. Cannot remember his name for the life of me right now. He's very forgettable. Bland guy, used to be a coach. But have them do it, I guess. That's pushing it because they are MAGA sycophants. But, I mean, if you have 2 equally anti-Trump, anti-MAGA, anti-overthrowing the government people counteracting it, I think we'll get somewhere. They'll have to meet in the middle. No deciding vote from like J.D. Vance or Trump or even, hell, SCOTUS, which is completely rigged. Let's make it fair. Let's make it fair for everyone. Everyone should be allowed to vote. I understand, like Florida has laws where if you're a convicted criminal, you can't vote. Okay. Well, I can't argue with the state's laws, but I still think everybody should have a say. And yes, I also agree, get rid of the Electoral College. I mean, yes, I admitted many times, Trump won the popular vote. Okay. I'll have to accept that. I'll just have to accept that. But popular vote is the people's vote. It's what people want. Anyways, that video that pulled up with Thune talking about that, the actual article was supposed to be about Steve Bannon proposes using ICE in elections. Have them patrol the voting stations. And that's a terrible idea. Because again, ICE needs defunded. Very much so. They need defunded. They're a group of Nazis. They're terrorists. That's all there is to that. Anyways, next story. So yesterday we, or I guess this might have been 2 days ago now, we shot down a Iranian drone. And yeah, basically immediately oil prices climbed 2%. Now, I pulled up this article because every other article just focused on the fact that we did that and this could lead to the war and everything. And it's like, yeah, it can. But you need to also put out the message of how does this affect the people? Well, it's going to affect your wallet at the pump. Everything Trump does will, in the end, affect your wallet. Which, again, this is the same guy who took and sold Venezuelan oil and pretty much pocketed the money in an offshore account in another country where it can't be regulated by, U.S. laws. Sketchy. Sketchy. It's also not regulated by Venezuelan laws, whatever they are. I haven't ever looked into them for money transfers and all that stuff. But that is super sketchy. Super sketchy. In May, he's going to be trying to put his assign a new head to the Fed. And he wants that person to basically just get rid of bad numbers, which will plunge the U.S. economy into the worst recession we've ever seen. The dollar will be worth less than the paper it's printed on, less than the ink, less than your time for looking at it. It'll be worthless. And it's already been going down. It's been going down under him because of his tariff war. People don't want to have anything to do with the U.S. It's disgusting. But yeah, this is another thing that's going to directly impact our wallets. Yay. Yay. So yeah, we're going to be paying more and we're going to be starting another war, which is probably going to end, like Hawk said on our podcast on Monday night. Israel, with our backing, is probably just going to end up nuking Iran. Because, we supported their genocide once, we'll do it twice. Because, Mr. Anti-war president who's constantly trying to provoke wars. He stopped so many wars. He stopped 8, 9, 10, 12, 50 wars. No. No. Not a thing. Not a thing. ICE is at it again. This is a story from The Verge, which is a very interesting read. I do suggest looking this up. Again, it's The Verge. The story is called Tear Gas Children Portland ICE Labor. If you type that in into Google with The Verge, you'll get it. Oh, it's not going to let me read it. Darn it. Because I've been on this too long. Basically what happened is ICE gassed a family-friendly protest in broad daylight. And Portland, rightfully, is up in arms about this. There were children. That's why they call it how to tear gas children. There were children in the crowd that they tear gassed. They're afraid of kids. You're afraid of little kids and like middle schoolers and some teenagers. You're these big tough guys are afraid of kids. But yeah, that's got to stop. That was a very calm protest. It was just the fact that they were, holding up signs that hurt their poor feelings and talked about how Trump's a bad guy. Oh, we got to defend him. Let's tear gas some kids. Absolute trash. Again, I wish I had this up so I could quote some of the stuff from it, but unfortunately, my time is up. I'll see if I can get it up another time. I'll have to eventually end up paying for it, which is not what I want to do. But yeah, Verge is decent source of information. They do good story. Good work. All right, and this one is a story that's not going to show properly, but a new poll shows the top 2028 presidential candidates. And I figured this was a fun story. And yeah, part of the story that pops up on this video every time I load it is Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro announces his re-election for governor, even though the presidential whispers swirl around him. Which, yeah, he's been on a lot of TV shows recently. He was on, I believe it was Stephen Colbert just last week. And he gave some uplifting information for Pennsylvanians involving ICE. Now they're preparing to already get the lawsuits going for them violating the 10th Amendment. Which, you know, this administration doesn't care about amendments. Those are for the people. And they're not the people. I mean, they're just the GOP. So, of course, they're not for the people. Anyways, a new Harvard-Harris poll released this week shows the presidential top candidates for 2028, with former Vice President Kamala Harris leading Democrats, which is a shocker. I didn't think that would happen, but I mean, if you look at how things are now, she was the better choice. I'm not saying she's perfect, but she was the better choice. It's easier to work your way up from than it is to work your way up from full Nazi dictatorship. But yeah, and then on the Republican side, Vice President J.D. Vance is outpacing the Republican field, which is even a bigger shocker because nobody likes J.D. Vance. Republicans don't even like J.D. Vance, so I don't see how the hell he's doing the best. According to the poll, Harris leads the pack for Democrats with 39%, ahead of California Governor Gavin Newsom with 30%, U.S. Representative AOC of New York with 12%, which thought she'd be higher because as we saw after this last election, there were people all around the place saying, like, I wish the ticket had been, and this is absolutely batshit crazy, I wish the ticket had been Trump and AOC to be on the same ticket, like Vice President AOC with President Trump. Don't see that ever happening. But, yeah, it's crazy. And then Pennsylvania Governor, who we just talked about, Josh Shapiro, 9%, and Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker at 7%. The survey shows that 4% say someone else. Which, yeah, people who want like someone who truly leans left. Truly leans left. Out of all this, AOC is the most left-leaning. But, yeah, we need someone who's true left, who truly cares about the people all the time. And yeah, like I said, AOC is the closest we have to that running right now, or that's being nominated by people. For Republicans, Vance has a commanding 53% of the potential vote, leading Donald Trump Jr. with 21%, which that would be a nightmare. But I mean, I guess Coke would no longer be illegal. So if you like Coke, there you go. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio with 17%. That would be a disaster as well. And former Fox News anchor Tucker Carlson with 5%. That is a whole lot of crazy on the Republican side. A whole lot of crazy. It's absolutely insane. But the poll surveyed 2,000 registered voters on January 28th and 29th and has a margin of error of 1.99%, which is still decent. Still decent. But yeah, out of these picks, I guess I would support Harris or AOC. I don't want to have to support Gavin Newsom. I used to be behind him, but he's done a lot of scummy things over the years. Like, one, trying to fight this whole 5% tax for the rich. That's disgusting. And his other many controversies, because he seems to always have them going on. Josh Shapiro, I've been talking to people about him as a governor. He hasn't done anything terrible. He hasn't done anything fantastic. I want to see how he handles ICE. If he handles it properly and gets them the fuck out of the state, that'd be wonderful. I would support the guy. We need these governors to stand the hell up. Man up. Man up. But yeah, so that's what we're looking at. I really hope we don't get another Republican again for at least another, I don't know, 3 terms. That would be wonderful. Even though it just takes them 1 term to destroy everything. All right, another big story, and this is from CNBC. United Arab Emirates spy sheikh bought secret stake in Trump crypto company. Sheikh Tahnoon bin Zayed Al Nahyan, I apologize for butchering the name, of the United Arab Emirates, purchased a secret 49% stake in the Trump family's World Liberty Financial. That was reported by the Wall Street Journal late on Sunday. Which is more just bribery. Because when he launched that, he was already confirmed as the person who's going to be the Republican candidate. It's just more open bribery. And then the United Arab Emirates got a chip deal linked to a $2 billion investment. That's how much that 49% cost. $2 billion. Trump got $2 billion from these people. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then we agreed to give them 50,000 of America's most advanced AI chips per year. Funny how that works out. Absolutely screws us. Absolutely screws us over to help other countries. Because America first by putting America last and his wallet first. Dude is just the most vile. The most vile, disgusting president we have ever had. Anyways, I am going to end today's show with a couple things from Reddit because it's Reddit. Oh, wait, I think I do have audio on some of these. Give me just a second. Try this again. All right. So the first one. Try to make this big enough so people can see it. I'll read the text inside because it's hard to see on the screen. Florida's cultist surgeon general wants more kids to die. And yeah, so the Florida Surgeon General says the state will end vaccine requirements for kids in school and wants to end all mandates. Saying, who am I to tell you what to put in your body? It's a gift from God. Tuberculosis, that's just a gift from God. Yep. Polio, it's just a gift from God. Who cares if kids die? Who cares if kids get these terrible diseases? Not this guy. Not this Trump supporter. Disgusting human being. Next we have Diaper Don gets triggered by CNN's Caitlin Collins for asking him about the Epstein survivors who he totally didn't abuse. Yeah, because, he's totally exonerated from this. Not him. It was everybody else. Not him. Let's give us a listen.
The people care about. Yeah, what did you say? Go ahead.
What would you say to the survivors who feel
you are the worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings because of people like you. She's a young woman. I don't think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile on your face. You know why? You know why you're not smiling? Because you know you're not telling the truth. And you're a very dishonest organization, and they should be ashamed of you. Okay, go ahead.
You mentioned health care, and the bill that was just passed does not include your health care savings.
Yeah. So, as we saw there, he was just belittling Caitlin Collins for her asking, what would you say to Epstein survivors? He's asked about the Epstein survivors. In response, he attacks the woman asking the question. Tells you everything. I mean, yes, it does. It tells you everything about this guy. One, the Epstein files did not exonerate him at all. What his personal lawyer said, who is now in charge of this, was, oh, yeah, we still have 2.5 million documents. We're not going to release those because, there's just no evidence in them. This is the same lawyer who wanted to have a private meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell and then suddenly makes out some deal to where she has to be put in this very cushiony country club prison. Huh. Imagine that. Imagine that. Basically, hey, as long as you don't come out and admit the fact that Trump's a pedophile, we'll give you better treatment. So she took the deal. So yeah, I openly suggest everybody publicly, loudly, say Trump is factually a pedophile per the Epstein files. Let him sue you. Because then you get access to all of those files they're not sharing. The ones that will show, yeah, the guy did something. He proves it daily with the way he acts, the way he responds to this. He said it exonerates me. And I think they should just, just say we have other things to deal with. Yeah, dude's a creep. Dude's a creep. Oh, and the most upsetting one is last. This is MAGA for you. This is MAGA. Turn that on. Yeah. That's MAGA attacking kids. Attacking little girls. Teenage girls getting attacked by some grown man. Because how dare these girls not stand for Trump? Yeah, this dude needs to be found and needs to be arrested. 100%. Find this guy, arrest him, and end that. That is vilely disgusting. Vilely disgusting. That's MAGA for you. That's what Trump wants from his people. That's what Trump wants from ICE, to attack kids, attack minors. Because Trump himself has assaulted minors. Not in that way, probably, but, he's assaulted them. I mean, him showing his face should be indecent exposure. Anyways, yeah, that was today's show. That was just your reminder that MAGA is terrible. Trump supporters are absolutely terrible. And everything still sucks. So sorry to have to say that. Sorry to have to say that. But at least we know Jeffrey Epstein was kicked off of Xbox Live. Probably for trying to get at little kids. But yeah, anyways, that was the show. Thank you guys for watching. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, you all take care. Hey, thanks for watching this video. And if you could, please help us out and give us a like, maybe comment, and subscribe. Better yet, share our content. It's pretty dark times out there, and this is topics that people need to hear. It's what's best for our country. I mean, we're talking about better politics. And also, if you want, join our Discord. Carry on the conversation. It's a fun time. And until next time, you take care.